Now, Rebecca, tell us the benefits of yoga, because you know when I started doing it, we were kind of talking about yoga 30 years ago or whatever, but now they're actually doing research on it.
Yeah, there's actually some recent research that has just come out that shows that the practice of yoga changes the brain chemistry.
Wow.
And so yoga helps with relaxation, it helps you think a little more clearly. You just feel better generally overall. You're able to make clear decisions, and you're also able to get in touch with how you're feeling and what's going on for you in your physical body. Yeah. So if you have an ailment that's coming up, you're more aware of it.
And we have a picture of your brother Scott we're going to show, because
right.
I think that's one of the things that's helped our whole family through the trauma of losing him.
Moving in the body and focusing on breath. So Grace is starting here in mountain pose. So it's a very simple pose. All you do is stand firmly on your 2 feet, arms alongside your body, and relax the shoulders, and then take deep breaths into your chest. Because when we grieve, we tend to breathe very shallow. So just taking some deep breaths and visualize a mountain, the strength of a mountain. So just finding strength. It's
and
very
how
simple.
long, like on a pose like that, would you stay?
As long or as short as you would like.
So
it could be, a few seconds.
So somebody who has never done yoga, like myself and anybody. So
go
if
ahead,
you did,
Ellen, you
no,
can just stand.
no, but you're saying it is for beginners. You
Yes.
don't have to.
Yeah. Yep. You just stand in mountain pose. The next pose she's going to do is just a half moon pose, where she's just going to reach her arms overhead and move the body side to side. So again, when we grieve, we tend to sort of collapse in our shoulders and our chest, and it's hard to get breath into the body, and we get stiff because we don't move. So it's just moving side to side.
Right.
Very easy, very gentle movement side to side. And then Grace will come back into center, and she will do a pose called tree pose. So this is a balancing pose, and so she's going to take the version where she just keeps her toes on the mat. You can take the lifted leg higher if you would like, if you've got better balance. But what I like about balancing poses, you have to be very focused, single point of focus. And so you're able to get very calm here, and there's no other distractions going on. And then you can switch, you can do the other leg as well, and notice maybe one side feels a little easier or more difficult than the other. And again, so it's getting you deep into concentration. So very simple, and you hold as long or as short as you would like. There's no time limit. And then the next pose Grace will do is a forward fold. So she's just going to stand and fold over. And maybe she'll let her arms go, or maybe she'll grab her elbows, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Maybe she'll sway the body side to side. So forward folds are very calming. And people have a hard time folding. You can bend your knees if that's hard, or keeping your legs straight, either way. But when you fold forward, it just changes everything in the body. We tend, again, to carry a lot of stress and tension, especially when we're grieving. And so coming into a forward fold and just breathing here. And thinking about tension and stress rolling off the back, rolling out of the body. So again, very, very simple. And you can even do it in a chair. You can sit in a chair and just fold your body over. So making it very simple. And then Grace is going to come down onto the yoga mat. And you can come down onto a rug. You don't need a yoga mat, or to the floor. And she's going to start with some dynamic bridge poses. So just placing her feet down, hips down, and she's going to reach her arms up overhead as she lifts her hips up. And then she's going to lower down on her exhale, arms alongside the body. So again, what happens when we're grieving, we tend to collapse in our chest.
Right.
And so this is a heart opener, so it opens up your heart. And again, it's important to bring breath into the chest as well. And so you can do it as quickly or as slow as you would like. And so she's inhaling when she lifts her hips, and she's exhaling when she lowers down. And then it feels good to keep your hips lifted. She can lift her hips up. She can support her hips with her hands if she would like. If you have a block or something, or a bolster or a pillow to put under your hips, you can do that. And that just can be a little more of a restorative pose, where you just can relax and hang out here, and then focus on breathing deep into the chest. Again, because we tend to collapse in our chest when we're grieving. Just take a couple of breaths there. And then lowering on down. And then she's going to come into a spinal twist. It's important, again, to keep movement in the spine and fluidity in the spine and the body. So she's going to take just one knee to the chest and take the knee to the opposite side. And then she's going to look over the other shoulder. And this is just a really, really nice stretch. You could do this in your bed in the morning when you wake up. Yeah, you wake up with, oh my gosh, my child is dead. You know, that's the first thought that comes up in the morning after we've just lost someone. And so just even lying in your bed and doing this spinal twist is really powerful. And then she can switch sides. And then maybe your body feels not quite as stiff as you when you get out of bed. And so the other side just takes the knee to the opposite side and the head to the away from the knee. And focusing on breathing when you do this as well. Calming, long breaths. And then she's going to come back to center, and then she's going to take her knees to her chest and hug her knees to her chest. Just giving yourself a hug. And again, you could do this in the morning. Wake up, giving yourself a hug, telling yourself positive thoughts, things that are going well in your life. Take your knees a little farther away, or maybe use your armpits.
Yeah.
You don't even have to hold on to your knees. You can keep your arms
Just
down
rock.
and just rock your body side to side. And rocking is very, very calming. And if you see babies, you can see babies grabbing their feet and rocking back and forth. And like you were talking about laughter yoga, they grab their feet and they laugh and rock back and forth. So it's very calming and soothing.
So Rebecca, so Vibe Yoga is in Redwood City, California
Yes.
now. Do you work with people at all levels of
All
yoga?
levels,
So
all levels, going through all different things in their lives.
Right.
Many people come to yoga for healing.
Right.
So yes, all practices, all styles of yoga help with this. This is the final yoga pose that we
You
do.
like this final pose, Al.
This is
I want to
Alan's
say this.
favorite pose
I've been doing this
that
one
everyone
about
can
8.5
do.
hours a night, and it has been extremely beneficial to me.
So this final pose is called Final Shavasana, completely allowing the body
Wow.
to let go, to completely let go and relax. And in this pose, it's important, again, to let go of the monkey mind, let go of all the wandering thoughts, and let your body completely relax. And you can even do a relaxation in your body and think about relaxing the hands and the arms and the chest and the hips, the legs, down to the toes. And so this is a really important pose to finish up any yoga practice that you do, just to completely let go and relax.
You know, sometimes when I'm really stressed, or like when I've been using the computer, I have a backache or
Right.
something, I'll just go do this pose on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a powerful pose.
And I love doing it on the floor because the floor is hard.
Yeah.
And you know, when I first do it, I feel kind of stiff, and your body just kind of melts into the floor when you do it for a few minutes.
Right. People don't need to remember necessarily these 8 poses. If there's any way that feels good to move, just I think it's important when you're deep in the grief process that you do move the body around. You can sit in your chair and you can do spinal twists. You can shake your arms. You can just get up and shake your legs. Just any type of movement of the body, and then breathing. Breathing is really important, just to sit
Because we
and
get into
focus
this
on your
upper
breath.
breath thing, don't we?
Or sometimes we don't, our breath stays deep in the belly. We don't even bring the breath all the way into the chest. And we have these short, shallow breaths, which causes more sadness and tension. And
So then as a neophyte, is this something we should do every day? I mean, would you recommend that people do it every day or do different types? Or
I would recommend you do it. The more you do it, the better you'll feel.
Great.
So yeah, I would recommend as often as you're able to do it. And practicing any style of yoga that feels good to you. There are a lot of different styles.
And seriously, you know, I think some people think, oh, you know, I've got to do yoga. I'm going to have to take a class and learn all these poses and all that. And, you know, they can watch this video over and over and just pick up a couple
Right.
of poses that you do, because they're amazing poses for
Well, it
relaxation.
seems like it meets you where you are. So you can
Exactly.
start, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I know, Rebecca, that you've heard me say before is allowing yourself to do anything physical after a loss can really be hard at first.
Absolutely.
I mean, the first time I went out and ran, I cried because I
Yeah.
thought my neighbors were looking out the window and saying, look at her, she doesn't care. She doesn't care about anything, you know, she wouldn't be taking care of herself.
The other thing about yoga, it can bring up some big emotions as well, a lot of sadness, because you're doing things like heart openers,
Right.
and that can bring up some emotions. And it's okay to cry on your yoga mat, even if you're at a yoga class. It happens often.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did you know that when people do yoga, I think it can actually bring up those
Wow.
feelings that they've been holding in.
Kind of the deep emotions that
it's-
are kind of hidden in our bodies. And again, it
Yeah.
can be very simple. It can be very simple.
Okay,
Well,
Alan.
I have learned a lot today. Thank
Great.
you
Well,
guys so
thank you
much for the
and
good
thanks
information.
for watching our show. And thank you,
Thank you,
Grace
Alan.
and
For all of our
Rebecca.
guests.